In this video, I'm going to explain to you a concept that is actually very important to understand when it comes to language learning. That is passive vocab, active vocab, and what is a repetition. And so who am I to tell you this? Well, I'm Ivan. I have been studying English for 4 years, Japanese for 2 years. And since I am a collectionist athlete, I consider myself a disciplined person. And of course, I want people who are learning languages to be able to be also disciplined and study a language for 3 to 4 to 5 hours on a daily basis. And so the first point that we're going to be talking about is what's passive vocab. Passive vocab is the vocab that you are able to understand, but you are not able to speak. And so the difference between a passive and active is that something that is active, you use it actively, but like the passive one, you really don't use it. And so I could tell you the word automatization, and you could say, okay, like I understood it, but in reality, I didn't really use that word. You probably will say a yes to that, right? Basically, automatization is a word that is in your passive vocab, not in your active vocab. But if I say like hello, of course, hello is a word that is in your active vocab because you speak it, like use that word actively on a daily basis. So what this means is that you need more passive vocab than the active vocab that you need. Now, acquiring active vocab is actually way more difficult than acquiring passive vocab, right? Because passive vocab you can literally acquire by watching videos, reading books, watching anime, watching series, all of those things. Now, active vocab, how do you think you acquire active vocab? Of course, by just speaking. That's the only way in which you can acquire active vocab, by actually using that vocab. So you acquire it by speaking and writing, right? Now, a repetition is a moment in which you have to be concentrated and actually pay attention to understand that word or that sentence that you're trying to understand. Now, there's people who think, oh, but what is but I can get repetitions of like my sentences whenever I'm playing League of Legends while I watch something. No, because you will pay more attention to the game instead of the thing that you have to pay attention to, which is basically your fucking like a study of the language, right? And so that's why repetitions, whenever you're doing some passive listening, don't really count because you are not paying attention to it. Now, if you're doing passive listening whenever you do something like, let's say, a stretching in the gym, maybe you are getting some passive listening in the treadmill, yeah, that can count actually, because like you are not paying that much attention to things, you are just paying attention to the sound because you are doing something like just walking or just doing some kind of exercise, right? And so if you're going to do some kind of repetition thing with passive listening or with those things, like don't try to do it whenever you're playing something. Just try to do it whenever like you are going to the gym, you're cleaning your house, all of those things, right? And that's actually when a repetition counts, right? A repetition, I'm going to repeat it to you, like a repetition doesn't count if you are playing a video game, if you are like literally, I don't know, playing Minecraft while you study Japanese, like that will probably not count. And so that's it for the video. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe, all of those things. Bye.